Besamaab, well, Wemefeskadus, Adawamla, Amin. Besamaab, well, Wemefeskadus, Adawamla, Amin. Besamaab, well, Wemefeskadus, Adawamla, Amin. Good morning, give thanks. So, on with chapter 9 of Exodus. I will not do a preamble, I'll go straight in. Exodus chapter 9, give thanks. Blessed love. And Yahweh said to Moses, "Go into Pharaoh and tell him, this is what Yahweh, the God of the Hebrews, says. Let my people go, that they may serve me. For if you refuse to let them go and hold them still, behold, Yahweh's hand is on your livestock, which are in the field, on the horses, on the donkeys, on the camels, on the herds, and on the flocks, with a very grievous pestilence. Yahweh will make a distinction between the livestock of Israel and the livestock of Egypt, and nothing shall die of all that belongs to the children of Israel." And Yahweh appointed a set time, saying, "Tomorrow Yahweh should do this thing in the land." Yahweh did that thing on the next day, and all of the livestock of Egypt died, but the livestock of the children of Israel, not one died. Pharaoh sent, and behold, there was not so much as one of the livestock of the Israelites dead. But the heart of Pharaoh was stubborn, and he didn't let the people go. Yahweh said to Moses and to Aaron, "Take handfuls of ashes of the furnaces, and let Moses sprinkle it towards the sky in the sight of Pharaoh. It shall become small dust over all the land of Egypt, and shall be boils and blisters breaking out on man and on animal throughout all the land of Egypt." They took ashes of the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses sprinkled it up towards the sky, and it became boils and blisters breaking out on man and on animal. The magicians couldn't stand before Moses because of the boils, for the boils were on the magicians and on all the Egyptians. Yahweh hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he didn't listen to them, as Yahweh had spoken to Moses. Yahweh said to Moses, "Rise up early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh and tell him, this is what Yahweh, the God of the Hebrews, says. Let my people go, that they may serve me. For this time I will send all my plagues against your heart, against your officials, and against your people, that you may know that there is no one like me in all the earth. For now I would have stretched out my hand and struck you and your people with pestilence, and you would have cut off from the earth. But indeed, for this cause I have made you stand, to show you my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth, because you shall exalt it yourself against my people, that you won't let them go. Behold, tomorrow about this time I will cause it to rain very grievous hail, such as that which has not been seen in Egypt since this day. It was founded even until now. Now therefore command all of your livestock and all that you have in the field to be brought into shelter. The hail will come down on every man and animal that is found in the field and isn't brought home, and they will die." Those who feared Yahweh's words among the servants of Pharaoh made their servants and their livestock flee into the houses. Whoever didn't respect Yahweh's word left his servants and his livestock in the field. Yahweh said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand towards the sky, and that there may be hail in all the land of Egypt, on man and on animal and on every herb of the field throughout the land of Egypt." Moses stretched out his rod towards the heavens, and Yahweh sent thunder and hail, and lightning flashed down to the earth. Yahweh rained hail on the land of Egypt, so there was a severe hail, and lightning mixed with the hail, such as had not been seen in the land of Egypt since it became a nation. The hail struck throughout all the land of Egypt, all that was in the field, both man and animal. And the hail struck every herb of the field, and broke every tree in the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were, there was no hail, Pharaoh sent and called for Moses and Aaron and said to them, I have sinned this time. Yahweh is righteous and my people are wicked. Pray to Yahweh, for there have been enough of mighty thunderings and hail. I will let you go, and you shall stay no longer. Moses said to him, as soon as I've gone out of the city, I will spread out my hands to Yahweh. The thunder shall cease, and there will not be any more hail, that you may know that the earth is Yahweh's. But as for you and your servants, I know that you don't yet fear Yahweh God. The flax and the barley were struck, and the barley has ripened, and the flax it was blooming. But the wheat and the spelt were not struck, for they have not grown up. Moses went out of the city from Pharaoh and spread his hands to Yahweh, and the thunders and the hail ceased, and the rain was not poured on the earth. When Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunders had ceased, he sinned yet more, and he hardened his heart, he and his servants. The heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he didn't let the people of Israel go, just as Yahweh had spoken through Moses. Give thanks, blessed love. Yet a breath for cure. So this chapter is really demonstrating God's might, God's vengeance, God's anger towards Pharaoh, and there's plague after plague after plague, and God even said to Pharaoh, I'm going to be producing huge hail, but I'm telling you in advance, so if you want to save your livestock and your people, bring them into your houses and your palaces so they may be saved. So he's even warning Pharaoh and giving him the opportunity to save his livestock and his other possessions, and Pharaoh's refusing to listen, and allowed all the destruction to happen around him. But even people in his court heard Yahweh and brought their livestock in. So there's plague after plague after plague, and God's demonstrating not only to Pharaoh but to the whole world that he is God and he is all powerful, and using this as the example, this moment as the example to spread his power and might and word throughout all of the earth. But Pharaoh is just refusing to listen, and Pharaoh's starting to annoy me. Do you know what I mean? Because chapter after chapter now, he's been given so many chances, and he keeps saying, I will let them go. And even after the hail incident, he's like, I have sinned, you're right, I will let your people go. I know Yahweh is the true God. Then as soon as Moses stops the thunder and the hail, then he's like, I'm not letting your people go. And he's, really, in a film, you'll be kind of screaming at the screen, because the character's so stubborn, and you can see that he's just sowing his own destruction, really. So in terms of a chapter, I think it's quite clear. The story, it's Yahweh, Moses against the Pharaoh, but sending an example to all the earth. But things are just being destroyed. And I actually feel sorry for the people of Egypt as well. The people of Israel are being protected. That's something from these previous chapters. God's saying, I'm going to kill all the livestock. I'm going to send boils on the people. Hell's going to destroy everything. But the people of Israel are being protected from that and that particular land. And Pharaoh actually saw that protection with his own eyes, and he's still not believing it. But all the everyday Egyptians, they're getting killed and they're getting boils and their livestock's being destroyed. But they're the innocent bystanders of the political class, of their leader, of the Pharaoh, who is not taking any notice, and he's allowing his people to be destroyed and suffer because of his own stubbornness. And, we probably see that in politics all of the time, even today, where people are suffering because politicians are too cowardly, stubbornness, power hungry to admit when they've made a mistake or to do a U-turn, and show any sign of humbleness. They just stick in. Wars happen all of the time when us as citizens have to go up and fight for a country, for wars that aren't ours, for quarrels that aren't ours. It's because of the ego and the bravado of the often men in charge, in terms of our prime ministers and presidents, etc., etc. So, on that level, it's a very stark interpretation. And as with all Bible readings, you can take them and interpret them in many different ways. So that's one of the ways this is being interpreted. But I think the more direct interpretation of this chapter is it's about God demonstrating his all-powerfulness, but even in the face of that, people still refuse to see the truth. The magicians are showing Pharaoh the truth every time. This is not a trick. This is Yahweh, but still ignoring the signs, still ignoring the teachings and the messages, and choosing, because of personal ego, to not, to not see God's truth, to God's power, and choosing to turn a blind eye, really. And I think that's a more direct interpretation of this chapter. So, but yeah, blessed love, give thanks, and God willing, more readings tomorrow for chapter 10. Give thanks, blessed love, have a blessed day. Malcolm K.